Hello all, very good morning. Thanks for joining the session. Let me share my screen. From today onwards, let us jump to our original content. So far, we have seen the understanding of the career at the DevOps with AWS on Linux course. And yesterday, I have shown you the market standard and then market expectations. So we can confidently go ahead with the course content, whatever I have planned, and then the tools, whatever I have designed, we can very good confidently go ahead with them. There is no doubt at all. So as we have seen yesterday, the market standard for the DevOps engineer, one cloud is expecting as mandatory. So one of such cloud, let us choose as AWS. Why we have to choose the AWS cloud is a a big story. So in the global market, around 52 percentage of the share has been now occupied by the AWS cloud. 52 percentage of the global market share has been occupied by the AWS. How that 52 percentage of the global market share of the AWS will help us? How it will help us is, if the 52 percentage of the global market share occupied by the AWS, meaning around the globe, many of the companies are using the AWS. When many of the companies are using the AWS, many of the opportunities that we will get. So if we can go to AWS, about AWS, if we can go to about AWS, they were mentioned here. AWS has become about this AWS. Gartner is one of the third-party service. Gartner is one of the third-party company, a third-party service actually. That Gartner continuously telling like, this AWS is the leading cloud provider according to their survey. So if you can see the AWS in the news, let me just go ahead and then AWS in the news. Let me search with the Gartner. Let me search with the Gartner. Yes, AWS keeps commanding lead in latest Gartner cloud report. This is the 2020 report, and then the 2021 report, 2026. See, continuously saying AWS is leader in the Gartner report is saying AWS is a leader in its computing services, meaning cloud provider. See this? Remains the commanding leader over number 2, Microsoft Corporation, number 3, Google LLC, with number 4, Alibaba Group Limited. So if we can go here, we can see this Gartner report. S1 E3, July 21, 2022, 9:11 a.m. PT. So at that moment, they published it. So AWS keeps commanding lead in the latest Gartner cloud report. This is of 2022 report. Amazon Web Services Inc. remains the commanding leader in cloud computing over number 2, Microsoft Corp. Number 3, Google LLC. But Google and niche providers are Oracle Corporation and Alibaba Group Limited are coming on strong. Yesterday I said the same, right? Slowly Google, that means the Google cloud provider GCP will give you a tough competition to the AWS. If you have the choice of learning another cloud also in your mind, go for GCP, but don't put your effort on Azure. because definitely GCP will take over the Azure. Right now, Azure is in number 2 place, but GCP will take over it. Okay. However, AWS is the number 1. So the new report, this is the new report from the Gartner. Let us go and then see these reports. Why we need to study these reports? Oh, access to this is expired. I think I have not, I don't have the access. But why we need to study these reports? To make sure that we are in the right situation and then learning or putting our time in the right direction. However, what it said, it given a lot of information about this one, but finally said AWS is the number 1 leader in the market. And if you can see the AWS market share 2022. So let me open these statistics. Statistia. This is the site published this. Privacy and all. Just let me. Yes, okay. Hello all. Now if you can see here. Okay, so this is the GCP, and this is the Alibaba, this is Azure, this is AWS. Now see, 52% of the share occupied by the AWS in 2020. In 2021, it reduced a slight, and 2022 it reduced a slight, because the GCP increased. If you can see, GCP increased, right? 8.1% to 9.1% it increased, and somehow the Azure also increased slightly from 31.9% to 33.1%. If we can see this market share, still the AWS is the leader. It is not so easy for this Azure and then GCP to take over this AWS. No, a lot of distance is here, right? So in 2022, AWS is having the 49.2% of the market share. So that means what? If you learn the AWS, a lot of opportunities you will get. In 2022, with a projected market share of 49%, this AWS is said to be the leading global infrastructure as a service and a platform as a service hyperscale vendor. We will discuss about this, what is infrastructure as service, platform as service, all these things we will discuss. But if you can observe, still in 2022, 49% of the global market share occupied by the AWS. Why? Because why I'm very strong that GCP and then Azure can't beat AWS, because of the 3 reasons I have. Number 1 reason, IoT. In IoT, AWS IoT is just awesome. IoT meaning, for example, the Ola, Uber, what they are doing the IoT, right? Swiggy, Zomato, that is also IoT. Sorry?
So they are not doing IoT.
No, IoT in the sense, real-time location monitoring they are using, na?
No, sir. They are doing that map-based things, but that is not called IoT, right? But if the real-time connections, like whatever they're doing from Google Maps, they do through GPS trackers, wherever like PCB and GSM or Wi-Fi module is used. In that case, like we can call that IoT.
Correct. Even these guys also using the IoTs. For example, if you can see device transformations they are using.
They're
so maps,
yeah.
No, they are using actually. However, maps are just for the GPS location and then these translators, but they are using the IoTs also. Do you know this SOS? I believe SOS facility, SOS button.
Yes, sir.
SOS button is the IoT component only. even though
Sir,
without.
actually, we are providing that product to Ola. We were providing.
Uh-huh.
For the last 3 years, they stopped using that.
Oh,
And we are providing in Pan India that solution.
okay, okay, okay.
Ola is not now, they're not using it.
Okay, 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 fine
And
then.
the government is making it compulsory. They will use it in some other state.
Okay, fine then. So basically, IoT, because of the IoT, this AWS is still becoming as a pioneer. Let me give you one example. There is a company called Cloudleaf. It started in just 2017. Now it's doing a billions of business. Why? Because they are preparing a IoT solution, meaning they are preparing a solution where the medicines and all, they for example, the medicines racks will be there, right? For the medicines racks, they are attaching one device, and then that device is giving the real-time location of it, and that device is able to find out the medicines very quickly. For example, if we type the medicine name in the system, it will showcase us the exact location of the medicine, and then the sensor status of it, and a geofence location, and also it is providing the perimetry things, lot of other things, IoT related things it is providing. So what I mean to say is, what device to device communications, like there is another company as well who started virtual doing the virtual interviews at the border and then security forces. So they are also using this AWS IoTs a lot. So where there is a machine, that machine will speak to the other systems and then get the data and then generate the reports. So basically what I'm saying is, IoT is one thing, live streaming, AWS Kinesis is the service which is providing the video streamings. So that is also one of the sophisticated solution. And then in the AI, artificial intelligence, and then the ML, machine learning, AWS have a awesome solution, awesome services, great services, especially in the machine learning. AWS services are simply superb. They are giving 72, not 72, meaning 80 percentage above. They are providing the accurate results, accurate analysis in this ML calculations and all. So that is the reason AWS never beat by these Azure and the GCP, at least in the nearby time. Down the line, maybe 5 years or 6 years. Okay. So, however, now what I'm telling is basically we are on the right track to learn the AWS. Okay, fine. What we will learn in the AWS? Okay, we will learn the AWS. First of all, what is AWS, and then what we will learn in the AWS. So AWS is, if you can see the wiki of the AWS INC is one company. So Amazon Web Services INC is a company which is a subsidiary of Amazon that provides on-demand cloud computing platforms and APIs to individuals, companies, and governments on a metered pay-as-you-go basis. That means how long we use, we have to pay for that only. So AWS is the company who is offering. No, Kinesis I'm not covering. Kinesis IoT I'm not covering actually. But I will give you the explanation, because Kinesis service is two cost. It is not open. It is not free. It is two cost. Kinesis service is two cost. We done for one client actually using the Kinesis video streams. Firehose and then Kinesis video streams we have used, and then we have done that for one client, but it is highly billable. However, now see this. AWS INC is a company. It's a subsidiary of the Amazon. So this AWS is providing what? On-demand cloud computing platforms. Now we need to understand what is this cloud computing platform. Okay, before discussing about further this cloud computing platform, understanding this AWS, let me showcase you a quick course content, what we gonna cover, and then how it will be, implemented in a real time. So then we will discuss about the what is AWS, what is this cloud platform, before cloud platform, how the data centers were there, before data centers, how the on-premises is there, all those things let us discuss slowly. Now, introduction to cloud computing. What is cloud? Why cloud? And the types of cloud development deployment models, types of cloud services, cloud technologies, advantages and disadvantages of the cloud. This is what we will discuss here. Here we will discuss about the cloud computing technique, and then the before cloud computing data centers were there. How the applications were managed, data managed by the data centers. For example, at least in the 2015, when we were worked on one product, we made one product for this Indian law. At that moment, we have used the control-less data center. At that moment, actually, AWS was there, but we have not used. No one have this much of awareness at that moment. Everyone might got frightened to the, its cost or something else. But we have used the data centers. And before these data centers, way back in 2010, 2011, we have used somehow the on-premises things. However, let us discuss all those things in this introduction to cloud computing section. And after we got the understanding of the cloud computing section, then let us go and then see this AWS, Amazon Web Services. Introduction. What is AWS? How to subscribe for AWS account, and what is AWS free usage tier, AWS certification details, how many certifications were offering, and what is the beginner step to go ahead, and then we'll discuss. And the introduction to AWS management console we'll discuss, and the billing, billing console, billing and then support console also we'll discuss. And list of services given by the AWS is what we will discuss here. So list of services, their cost, and few services are given for free, few services given for cost. What are the services they were offered, and then what is its cost, we will discuss. Then the first service of the AWS that we will start is the security and identity access. So identity and access management, IAM, is what we will discuss with first. Why this is the first service, in order to work with any of the AWS services, we required the policies and then permissions. That policies and then permissions can be created using this IAM service. So we will discuss about this IAM service, how the users, groups, roles will be created, and how we can assign the permissions with these policies is what we will see. So let us go and then see our production architecture. This is our final production architecture. Exactly this is what we're gonna build. In this final production architecture, see this, end users are able to access the applications from this AWS system. AWS cloud deployable applications can be accessed by this end users. However, first we will see the IAM module, because with the IAM service only we can set up the other instances, other services and all. So our first priority, our first thing, we will start with what? IAM. Once after this IAM is completed, then we will go to the EC2. We'll go to the EC2. In EC2, what is EC2? Features of EC2 machine, managing the EC2 infrastructure, dashboard, pricings, and all we will see. Because in this EC2, the concept of the VPCs is very, very important. VPC, EBS, Elastic Block Storage, and then the VPCs, very, very, very important, because here if you can see the production architecture, we have to take the EC2 machines And these EC2 machines we have to set up in a private subnet. Directly we can't connect to the application running inside these EC2 machines. To make that, we have to set it up in a private subnet. And we have to create one more public subnet where we have to set up the load balancer. And from that public subnet, we have to access this private subnet applications. To access this private subnet applications in the public subnet, we have to use a NAT gateway, network address translation gateway we have to use. So these are all EC2 instances, subnets, VPC. See this, within the VPC, we are setting up these machines. So in one VPC, we set up one EC2. In another VPC, we have set up the, this is the, both are VPCs actually. But in one VPC, we have two zones, US-East 1A, US-East 1A. So in the availability zones, see this, regions and then zones, VPCs, public subnet, private subnet, EC2 machines. These are all we will learn as part of this EC2. Very important and will take a lot of time to complete this EC2 service. Okay. However, now in the EC2s, we even can see this elastic IPs. Why we discuss this elastic IPs, let me open the our DevOps pipeline, CI/CD pipeline. Let me open. In DevOps pipeline, what we will do is we will refer this JFrog artifactory, URL. We will refer in the source code. Let me showcase you that. Why I'm just giving you the higher outline, what you will learn and then what you will get out of it. So if I go to this, let me go to this monolithic deployment. Quickly, let me go to here and not here. Just let me go to another module. Just repositories, Medilab website, Medilab web applications, my DevOps applications, not here. Just let me go to another application. Maybe not here. Okay, just let me open my another GitHub. Go to this pom.xml file, scroll down. So here we have to take the URL of the artifactory URL. So that what will happen when we build the code, the build file will be put into this artifactory. Later in time, it can be taken by the Docker and other things. So now what is happening here? We have to refer a URL here. So here the public IP address is what we have used. Public IP address of the JFrog artifactory machine, EC2 machine we have used. But that public IP address will change when we stop and then restart the EC2 machine. Again, we have to come here and then change in this place. When the IP address is changed, is really a tedious task. If we set up a static IP address here, that static IP address we can refer here, so that no matter how many times we will restart the EC2 machine, the static IP address is same. So we no need to do any changes here in this XML file every time when we restart the EC2 instances. That is the real use case where we will apply this static IPs. That is one example actually I'm giving you. So whatever the course content I have prepared here is subject to real time, 100% real time we will do here. So however, and again we will see the pricing model of the EC2 instances. This pricing model of the EC2 instance is pretty much important for us, because if you can see this entire DevOps pipeline, we're gonna set up, right? that entire DevOps pipeline we're going to set up with the EC2 instances. So what are all the EC2 instances we have to take, and what is its configuration, and how much cost it is per hour. So this cost analysis is what we definitely have to do, because in this pipeline, if we can see the tools and all, whatever we are using here, these tools will be set up in the EC2 instances. And those EC2 instances are not like free instances, because we are deploying a huge applications which will have the database interaction, which will have the nice UI with the complex UI files. Such a complex application we're going to deploy, so it requires more memory, more RAM, because to access it very fast, it requires more RAM. So what RAM we have to take and how much cost it is very important to analyze. So that is the reason I prepared one support matrix document, which is giving us what is we have to set up. For example, Jenkins master we have to set up with the Ubuntu 20.04, which is of type T2.medium, which is not free, which is giving the 4 GB RAM and then 2 CPUs minimum core. Cost it around $0.0584 per hour, right? So this cost analysis is very important to understand. That pricing model is what we will discuss. Then EC2 with Amazon command line interface, there is a serial version, there is a web version where we can use this EC2 machines, where we can access this EC2 machines. So we will discuss this. So this EC2 is our core part of the DevOps tools. Everywhere we will take the EC2 machine, everywhere, for every tool. To achieve this CI/CD pipeline, we will use this. To achieve this CI/CD pipeline, we will use this EC2 instances. And this CI/CD pipeline we have to set up. We have to set up in the private subnets. See, this all the machines we have to take in the private subnets. Then only via the NAT gateway, it should have to be accessible. Very secure pipeline we have to build, in short. Very secured pipeline we have to build. For that, we have to learn the concept of VPCs very thoroughly. See this Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, VPC. What is VPC? VPC essentials, VPC networking, security groups, DNS, VPC peering, subnet routing, all these things we'll discuss. Elastic IP addresses, network interfaces, NAT gateway, right? And then finally the pricing model of this VPC. So these are all we will discuss. So what is a machine exactly? Machine exactly meaning it is like your computer, your laptop, one more laptop. Rather we are purchasing the laptop, we are using the already readily available laptop. In my opinion, in my terms here, wherever I have written the machine meaning the EC2 virtual machine. For now, you consider it as just another computer. So another computer we are taking. Again, we will discuss a lot while taking this EC2 machines. That's difference between the server, difference between your server, meaning operating system is available in the desktop versions and then server versions. Lot of discussion we will do here, and then I will give a meaning for this machine at that time. However, now we are discussing about this VPC. So if we complete this VPC, then we will be able to complete here this setup. That means this VPC creation, our own VPC creation, and then with the availability zones. In the availability zones, we will be able to take a private subnet. We will be able to take a public subnet. In the private subnet, we will be able to set up our EC2 machines. And in the public subnet, we will be able to set up this, not NAT gateway, but not LB. About LB, we will discuss in the next section. So that is what you will learn in this VPC, meaning this entire infra setup is completed if we learn the VPC plus EC2 instances and then IAM. So when we complete the IAM, EC2, and then VPC, we should be able to complete this box. This VPC box is there, na outer box. This box we will be able to complete with the public subnet, private subnet, NAT gateway, and EC2 machines installed there in the private subnet. So till here we will be able to complete. What I'm saying is 100% real time we will do, 100% this production architecture we will try to, not try, 100% this production architecture we have to build, because a lot of things you will learn here, and then the same you can explore or explain to your same you can explain to your interviewer as well. So this experience is really helpful you guys a lot. Okay, because learning the service is different and applying it on one use case is different. When you apply it on one real use case, then you will get a very good command on it, isn't it? So why we are setting up all these things? We are now setting up the infrastructure using the AWS, whereas and later on it, you will set up this DevOps pipeline by installing the tools in it. Got it? Huh? This DevOps pipeline you will build using this AWS infrastructure. So that is the reason first we are starting the AWS to set up this infrastructure. Later in time, once the infra is set up, then later in time we will go and then install this DevOps tools, and then we will combine them together. Got it? Huh? Right. So, okay, right. So let us go to the next concept, next service. Yeah, networking also we will discuss here, because as part of this we discuss in the private subnet, public subnet, right? And then while creating these subnets, we have to discuss the CIDR IPs. Same CIDR IPs concept we'll discuss in the Kubernetes as well. What I am trying to explaining you is, while building this VPC with the public and then private network, we also required the networking concepts, like what is security groups. Of course, security groups concept is required to understand while building the or while creating the EC2 machines itself only. This networking, security groups, elastic IPs, key pairs, network interfaces. Especially what I would like to highlight is, I would like to explain this network interface, which is pretty important to set up this private subnet. Okay, so what is that CIDR and all? I'll explain coming up. So it is free. Okay, you are asking many questions. I will answer your questions 100%. Just to give me the time to complete my course content explanation. Then I will, interact with you, and then definitely will address all your questions. Right? Right. Now let us go here. And yeah, let us go here. I will explain. First, let us complete this course content, and then explain about the, your most of the questions are you are asking about the billing. I'll explain that. Okay, fine. Now, EBS, Elastic, Amazon Elastic Block Store, EBS. So about this EBS is what we will discuss, because the EC2 missions, whatever we are creating, the EC2 missions, whatever we are creating, for example, if you can see this EC2 machine, this is attaching with the storage. This is attaching with the storage. By default, the each and every EC2 machine that we are creating is getting, by default, the each and every EC2 machine that we are creating is getting with the storage of 8 GB. By default, we are getting with the storage of 8 GB. For example, middle app Docker 7 AM. You can see EBS is the root device type, and then the storage we are getting is 8 GB by default. And this is a beautiful concept this EC2 machine is doing. What this guy is doing, this guy is preparing an empty box for us. Okay, let me just explain this. He's taking one empty box. Like this, he's taking one empty box, To this empty box, he is attaching the storage. So to that empty box, he is attaching the storage. And then he is saying this entire thing as a EC2 machine. Let me just, this concept is very beautiful concept actually. Now, this is what he is doing. So this is what he is calling as a EC2 machine. Meaning he is taking one now, a VM. To that VM, he is attaching the external volume. And then combinedly, it is calling as the, EC2. Now this volume can be used by another virtual machine as well. The same volume can also be used by another virtual machine as well. Shareable volumes are possible. It's a beautiful concept actually. However, we discuss all these things. So this is the storage. Storage, this 8 GB is required. Why? Because it is attaching. Why? Because whatever the data that we are preparing, for example, Docker images, Docker containers, right? Whatever the data that we are preparing here will be stored in this data. In the sense, I mean to say the softwares installations, whatever we do. For example, Docker we will install, Docker images will create, Docker containers will create. All those get stored in this storage, which is attaching to this VM. Okay, so we will discuss about this EBS. Okay, so what is EBS and all we will discuss. Now let us go and then discuss about meaning. Amazon Elastic Block Storage, Block Store we will discuss, and there is a concept called snapshots, which will helps us to take a backup of the machine. When the machine will be crashed, then this snapshot will help us to again, set it back. That means this entire machine, when it will be crashed, we can take a snapshot of it, and then when this entire machine will be crashed, then the snapshot we can restore. So these are all the practical implementations we have to do. Your day-to-day work, in your day-to-day work, you will do this actually. Taking the snapshots, taking the AMI, right? Amazon mission images. I'll explain all those things going forward. But what I'm trying to stressing you, the course content, what I prepared will be practically we will implement on the real-time applications. Now, after we have discussed about this EBS, like increasing the volume, by default 8 GB is giving. If you want 16 GB, yes, without stopping the machine, we can increase it. That is what the cloud computing, right? Without doing anything, or without taking a new machine with a new volume. What I'm saying is basically, if you can see here, this EC2 machine is with the 8 GB volume. If you want, we can even increase its volume actually, even increase its volume. Okay, like 8 GB to 16 GB, 16 GB to 32 GB, we can easily increase. That means what? We are computing runtime, we are computing the, not runtime, but we are computing the memory on fly, and then we are making our machine elastic. That is the beauty of the cloud computing. However, we're going to discuss about this in our coming up sessions. Is EBS comparable to computer RAM? Yes, correct. No, not RAM, not RAM. Computer RAM is different, and then EBS is just like a storage, your hard disk. EBS is like a hard disk, not RAM. So RAM will be always with your computer. That means here in this diagram, this VM contains the RAM, but this is what your hard disk kind. Got it? Huh? Right. Now let us go to the next course, next service. ELB, Elastic Load Balancer. So how to create a load balancer, internal and external load balancers, load balancing protocols, security groups for the load balancer, health check for the load balancer, connection draining, cross zone load balancing, and also certificate pinning and SSL termination. So these are the things that we will discuss in our load balancer section. That means so far we have set up the machines, right, but not have attached the load balancer. Now let us attach the load balancer in our public subnet so that the customers can access the applications inside our infra using this load balancer. See, this is the load balancer. Using that load balancer, they are accessing it. Right. So next is what? Once after the load balancer is done, like application load balancer, network load balancer, classic load balancer, gateway load balancer, 4 types of load balancers we have. Which load balancer, where we have to use, and how to set up the load balancer with security, all those things, where to set up basically. Is it in the private subnet or public subnet? Where to set up and how to set up? Is the load balancer related to the subnets? So all these things we will discuss during our load balancer setup. Okay, right. Now let us go to the S3 bucket, Amazon S3 bucket. So Amazon S3 bucket is very helpful for us to store the objects. Object can be a document, object can be a image file, object can be a video, object can be a website, anything that can be stored in this Amazon S3. There is a free limit of the storage, around 5 GB. After 5 GB of the storage, whatever we upload to this Amazon S3 will be chargeable. For example, let me give you one real use case. What is that? You want to prepare one bookshelf. For example, if you can see your Amazon website where you can see the books you can search. When you can search the books, it will give us a number of books. Such books with the book image, book PDF, free content, all those things we can put in the Amazon S3 and then we can get it. We can load it. So if I can showcase you, probably I might have a website hosted here. Just let me try to showcase you. S3, go here and go here. I have created these buckets. My bookshelf.link, www.mybookshelf.link. So if you can see my bookshelf.link, here I have already hosted a website. So let me try to access this www.mybookshelf.link. Let us see whether it will become or not, because the domain I purchased in AWS, the domain might be still valid. Perfect. See that it is coming. Mybookshelf.link, it is coming. You also can access it. You also can access it. See, you also can access it from your machines. So how it is for the static website hosting, we use this S3 storage. Not only for the static website, for the files also. Do you see? Do you went to, whenever you went to this corporate hospitals like Yashoda and AIG, they will give the customer portal. That means patient portal, I mean to say. In patient portal, you will be able to see the reports. I'm not sure whether AIG patient portal. I'm not sure whether I have the credentials with me, but let me just try to log in here. Okay, what I would like to tell you is, in the healthcare industry, in order to see the reports, the doctor creating the reports, right? That reports we can store here in the S3 bucket, and then those reports we can fetch in the customer module. In the sense, in the patient portal, we can get it. For example, login page. I'm not sure whether I will be able to get it right away, but what I mean to say is, when we log in, no, I am not able to, because we need a patient ID. I'm not enter your email address. Just let me try. if my reports are there. I would just like to showcase. No, actually, please agree. Okay, just let me agree. I don't know whether my email is there or not. Oh, it is there. Just let me try to log in. 09. Unable to sign in. Okay, probably I don't know my password I entered correct or not. Yeah, maybe I was entered wrong password. But once I logged in there, I will be able to see my reports. Those reports we can fetch from these S3 bucket, meaning the report link is there. Click here to view the report. View reports link is there. When we click on that link, all the reports will fetch. Those reports we can upload and then get from this S3 bucket. And when we talk about the S3, Amazon S3, it have the lot of features. For example,
Sir, I have a query.
Hmm.
Sir, as we know, like we get IP directly from this thing, like AWS. So you have already linked your domain. So
Correct.
did you do through this pocket only, or if I buy it some service of light cell?
No. Actually, in this as part of the course in our previous batches, we have the actually one service we need to discuss. So what is that is Route 53. So when we discuss this Route 53, I have registered that domain. So using around 750 or 800 rupees charge.
No, that I know, sir. No. I said like, so how did you set the add the domain over here in AWS? That I'm asking.
That is what I have created. The domain I have registered using this Route 53.
No,
So
I
Route
got it, sir. Like domain you buy it from GoDaddy or Nameseek or somewhere.
No. I purchased the domain. I purchased from the I purchased
Domain
the
and
domain.
you set the name server over there. Like AWS
Correct.
name server, you set on domain. But
Correct.
how did you add the domain itself, domain name in AWS? Can you just show me how to add? Because I don't know. I have never added.
So there is a configuration actually. We need to do the configuration to add the domain. So I have purchased it, I believe, in the GoDaddy. Let me just showcase
So
you.
suppose, sir, I created an instance in Lightsail in that case. How to add?
So Lightshell.
Or here you can send.
See this mybookshelf.link. This is the hosted zone. So in hosted zone, so we have added this service of address.
Here also you can NS record and MS record also you can set over here.
Correct. So all these things is Amazon.com. I think I purchased the website from the domain from the Amazon only. So I purchased
it is very less. Price is very less.
So my teaching.live, this I believe I purchased from the GoDaddy. Yes, this is from the GoDaddy I purchased, and then GoDaddy details I was added here.
Right, understood.
Correct. Okay, so let us discuss, however, about it in our going forward sessions. So what I mean to say is, once after this S3 is completed, we also have to discuss in S3. There is one more a beautiful use case: scanning the files. When we are uploading, scanning the files. There were a bucket scanners available for us. S3 bucket scanners available. For example, in our S3 bucket, we are uploading. I have one application, and from that application, I'm uploading the reports. So probably I was logged in. Maybe I don't know whether the dashboard is here or not. Just let me try to get the dashboard. No, dashboard is not here, and of course, access is denied for me. However, what I mean to say is, when we are uploading a document to this S3 bucket from the application, assume there is a doctor module. So the doctor is doing what? Doctor is able to create the reports, isn't it? So doctor have a link here for create reports. Assume this is an application and doctor have a link to create report. So when he click on the create report, a Word document is opened for him. Assume a Word document is opened for him, and in the Word document, he given the prescription details and all. Assume, and automatically it will be convert to PDF. That logic the developers were written. Assume automatically it will be converted to the PDF, and this PDF automatically it will be converted to this PDF, and whatever the PDF it is converted, right, that PDF will be uploaded to the ES3 bucket using the AWS SDK. SDK is what used by the developers. I will explain going forward all these things. So uh, this will be uploaded to S3 bucket. Everything is superb, that is fine. But what is the security? Assume this is uploading over the network, right? Using SDK, it is uploading, or using network, it will upload. So while uploading, assume if this file is corrupted, or assume the doctor intentionally uploaded a virus file, error file, then we should be able to, our S3 bucket should be able to filter it out. What is the error file and what is the right file? Guys, can you please mute? Yes. Can you please mute? Okay. So there is a bucket AV, which is the bucket scanner. So let me open this bucket AV. What I'm trying to explaining, when we upload the objects into the S3 bucket, maybe the objects are having the issues in the sense, maybe the virus and all. So if such is the case, then the bucket scanners or the bucket scanners should be set up, which will segregate the files into a good bucket and then a bad bucket, error bucket, virus bucket, and then a non-virus bucket. So I'm just looking for one diagram. Bucket AV, error bucket. I'm just trying to showcasing you one diagram where we can filter out the files to a different buckets, error bucket, and then see, this is one. Yes, scanners, integrating the S3 storage with the scanners. Yes, see this. So there is a quarantine bucket. So there is a scanning applied. That scan will do what, every file that is uploading to S3 bucket will be analyzed, that file with the scanner. If the scanner didn't find any virus, it will be pushed to a good bucket. If it will find out any virus, it will be go to the quarantine bucket. So this can be done by the virus, meaning scanners. Being a real engineer, being a AWS engineer or DevOps engineer, you have to know these things, because this is a pretty common real-time scenario, right? Where you should have to know. In the interviewers are asking this question. Let us say S3 bucket is having the error file, and then how do you identify the error files and then move it into a separate bucket? So, however, this use case also we will do using the bucket AV, and some other scanners also available. COM AV, bucket AV, these are the scanners available. Using that, we will achieve this use case. However, once we done this S3 bucket use cases, S3 bucket understanding and all, we have to learn about the glacier also. I was not added in this course content, but we also have to see the glacier. Let me type this S3 again, S3 glacier, which is archive storage in the cloud. So that means whatever the data that we are, sir, I'm not able to follow. Is it normal? I didn't get you, Devansh Singh. I'm not able to follow.
Sir, actually, I have no prior experience or nothing like that. So some of the terminologies are very alien to me. I'm not
Okay,
able
okay.
to.
Okay. Just no worry. I will start from very scratch. I'm not my intention is not to frighten you guys. My intention is to showcase that this is what the real time is. I know most of you guys might not know about the AWS. You are raw freshers to the AWS. But what I am discussing now is, just listen the terms, just listen the terms, the importance of the AWS services, how we will apply these services in the real time. That is the concept of me. Whereas while starting this AWS, we will start from very scratch, very scratch. Okay, but for now, just to see the terms and how it will be in real time. We can go and then learn in some other institutes or somewhere also. Anywhere we can learn this. What they will do, they will tell the S3 with some use case, EC2 with another use case, or they might do a simple Tata hi, hello bye bye applications. No, that doesn't help us in real time. Okay. So what I mean to say is, once you learn, you should be able to crack the cloud practitioner certification, and also you should be able to crack the interviews and your real work as well. That is what my motto. However, just bear with me for the subject completion, mean course content completion, and from the very beginning I will start this AWS. So at least remember the services names like EC2, VPC, load balancer, EBS, EFS, Amazon S3, CloudFront, and then Route 53 is our next service. So CloudFront and then Route 53. Route 53 is for registering the domains, like I have shown you, my bookshelf application I have shown you, right? So such applications we can register using this Route 53, and we can check the application health checks, and we can configure the failovers. Failover meaning if something, this website is not reachable, then alternate path we will be redirect. So that is the failover, and the latency based routing we can configure and all, bucket policies and all. And if we can see this cloud front, just let me go to this cloud front. Global Content Delivery Network. We call them as a CDNs, Content Delivery Networks. Content Delivery Network meaning the application is available always on one particular domain is called what? CDN networks. So this cloud front will give us the CDN, Content Delivery Network. When it is content delivery, there will be some terminologies will come like security, latency. Latency is the main thing. Directly, I can access the application using IP address like this. Maybe I can access like 192, maybe 192.168, 54:8080. Like this, I can access the application. But if the application is too slow, or if we can apply like this, we cannot improve the application latencies. If we go through the CDNs, then we can improve the application latencies. However, I don't want to discuss much about this now because it is like a Chinese language. So when the time comes, we will discuss this CloudFront and then Route 53. Route 53 is for registering a websites, domains and all, and CloudFront is to make it as a CDN. What is CDN and all? I'll discuss when time comes. Okay. Again, the databases. In AWS, how we can set up the databases, which will be available 24/7. The database should not be down. Database should be available always. So if that is the case, then we have to go with the service called RDS. We have to go with the service called RDS. So using this RDS, we can configure the services, meaning many databases we can configure, like relational databases like MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, and then the object databases like GraphQL, OrientDB, all those things we can configure, and then the uh, GraphDB, and then the MongoDB, right? So all these things, key value pair based DB, that is. So all these databases we can configure in the cloud using this RDS. Usually to configure the database, what we will do in my local machine, if I want to configure the database, what I will do, I will go to softwares. First of all, I will install the softwares. Let us say I install the MySQL. I have downloaded the MySQL. Then I will install it. After install it, I will get the MySQL. But this MySQL I can access always only in my machine. As soon as the machine will up, meaning I will shut down the machine and then restart my laptop, isn't it? When I restart my laptop, automatically this database server will start, and then I will be able to access, but it is only within my laptop. You also want to access, some other also want to access, then how do we do? So we can set up the same database in the cloud as well using this RDS concept. Using the concept of RDS, we can set it up, meaning the database that we are setting in the cloud. The advantage is what, if we set up the database on our own, like how I set up in my machine, the database backups is the tedious task. Database backups in the sense, for example, this database is reached 1 TB. Then I have to take the data backup. So whatever the data, customers, all the data, I have to take the backup. And again, when it reached the 1 TB, again, I have to do a data backup. This data backup is a continuous process that we need to take care, isn't it? So that we can achieve, that is the one of the advantage when data backup can be automatically done by these cloud databases. That is one of the advantage. So how to do all these things, we will discuss by configuring one MySQL. And this MySQL database, let us also refer to our application, real application. So we will see this practically. And if you can see our production architecture, we have to always refer to our production architecture. If you can see our production architecture with the MySQL, somewhere you can see MySQL external name service, MySQL, which is setting using the Amazon RDS DB. Once this setup is done, then we are going for this RDS, meaning once the private subnet, public subnet, EC2 instances, all this done, then we are going to this MySQL also to set up on the cloud. Okay, so that's all for today, folks. I don't want to confuse you a lot today. Tomorrow we will discuss more about furthermore about the remaining services, and tomorrow we will start the content. See this, you can see this content in our DURGASOFT website as well. So all this content, remaining content, I will discuss tomorrow with respect to the real-time production architecture, what we're gonna do here, and the same parity application architecture we have to build. We will build using this entire course. So tomorrow, let us complete the course content, and then let us start introduction to cloud computing. So while telling to you, I will prepare the lab guides. A total of 30-40 lab guides will come. So that lab guides is what you are running day-to-day notes with the screenshots and all, whatever the work we are doing. Okay, so that's all for today, folks. Any doubts for me? Any questions for me?
Yes, sir, Devansh this side. Sir,
Yeah.
how will be informed about the classes? Currently, is it still demos going on?
Yes, still demos are going on, meaning the demos will be end by this Friday. Today is today is Thursday. Yeah, then we will end the demos by the Friday, that is tomorrow, by going with the remaining course content, and then let us start this introduction to cloud computing. A very detailed discussion we'll do.
So we'll be sharing, you'll be sharing a proper invite for the future meetings.
Yes. So once you guys will be registered for this course, DevOps with AWS on Linux, then the backend team will share all the resources with you, like the meeting link, recorded videos, and also the documents link. all these things will be reach out to you. Okay, guys, please, if you really feel like this will be helpful for you in your down the line career, go and then subscribe yourself for this course.
So,
And
so is there any plan to start GCP after this AWS completion, like any other batch? Yeah, after this batch only, like after completion of this batch, the complete course.
Actually, yeah, maybe we can do that, because I have this entire course completion will take 4 months, 4 to 4.5 months. Na?
Okay.
Let us see actually, because I have GCP also in my mind. GCP and then Kafka, these are my upcoming courses list. So definitely.
Sir, actually, I just want to ask you, like, we have created a WhatsApp group, so that like any other doubt, like if occurs, meanwhile, like so that we can discuss. Can I share the link so that everyone can join?
We can do that, but just wait for one day, because this is the demo link, right? So what we will do is, once all the guys got, whoever the guys registered, for them, let us create a network. Of course, the WhatsApp, and then we usually will create the Telegram. DurgaSoft will create a Telegram for them.
Okay.
Both the channels we can use.
Okay.
Yeah. And someone asked about the billing, right? How the billing will be? The billing will be, there are the missions called T2.micro, which are free actually. 750 hours per month is free. But T2.micro is coming up with only 1 GB RAM, which is not at all sufficient for us. Our Docker will take 2.5 GB to 3.5 GB RAM. Minimum 2 GB RAM is required for the Docker.
Sir, we can create AWS Activate plan so that AWS provides $1,000 credit and $350 support credit for around 2 years. We can use that.
Oh, really?
I have already got it. Yeah.
That is awesome. Then we can give
and
that.
I can provide GCP credit if in case needed, because we lead Google Cloud program over here in Odisha, so that I can provide GCP credit.
Superb, awesome. Hey, tomorrow can you provide the details about that AWS credits, so that we'll get it unnecessarily, not unnecessarily, but at least I am paying every month around 5,000 INR.
No, sir. The last month my bill came around 20,000-30,000, but it's all good.
Okay, that is great then. However, let us see how to enroll. I tried to call yesterday, but they did not answer my call. That is not the case actually, because they should be answer your call. What I mean to say.
Even the same case is for me. Like I tried 2-3 times yesterday, the number which you given us 2121431, but nobody is picking up the call.
Sorry for the inconvenience call. Inconvenience cost. I am now giving the two numbers. One number have the WhatsApp. One number have the WhatsApp you can reach, and another number I am giving Nazir sir number. So you can directly call to Nazir sir about this. He will be picked at any moment of time. Unless his number can't gives you the busy, he will pick the numbers. So 7702 703 and then 786. So this is Nazir's number. He also have the WhatsApp. Please reach out to this number if in case you will be not able to reach out to the first number.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's all, folks. About the other queries, so many members asked about the credits, pricing and all. Let us discuss about it actually, about the pricing and all, maybe tomorrow. Okay. So anything else for me?
Sir, I just have a question.
Yes.
You said that Dockers would consume like 4 gigs of RAM, right?
2
So
GB, yeah.
can we just do it like this? It's just you might feel it like silly, but just a thought, sir. Just spinning up a T2 micro machine and expanding this swap inside, because however all those are Linux machines.
Okay.
I was thinking like that.
Actually, what the problem, this CI/CD pipeline, what we're gonna build, it is a automated pipeline. So when any check-ins, because this Git repository, whatever we're gonna use, can be used by the other DevOps guys as well. So maybe what I'm feeling is, when the source code will be built, the Docker images will be created here. Na? So every time the Docker images, whatever we built is around 1 GB. So I don't know how this, swap memory can handle this. So that is the reason. Let us go with the T2.medium.
Sure, sir.
Nothing actually. If you practice well, per month you won't get more than 1,200 rupees. For sure. How to do that, I will explain. I'm pretty much. I can give you the assurance that your bill won't reach 1,000 rupees per month. If you really follow me, if you really practice me, meaning if you really practice along with my courses, what I'm doing now here, you won't reach $1,000. Sorry, 1,000 rupees INR. I'll explain how to do that.
You mean for the entire pipeline, right? End to end.
Entire pipeline.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure.
Okay, folks. I think it's too late for your offices. Even for me also, I have to start my office. So stopping for now. Thanks for your participation. Let us have tomorrow as our final demo, and then let us again connect back from Monday onwards with the solid content discussion with the real-time scenarios and then approaches. Thank you so much for your time and then support. Thanks a lot.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.